5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team ban. Alliance's turn to pick. Radiant team pick. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Alliance's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Welcome back to the defense, everybody. We have one match tonight. It's going to be Team OG facing up against Alliance. Of course, myself, Capitalist, joined by Durka for the night. Durka, I think this is going to be a really good match.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Alliance recently. Well, everyone has. They've been playing a ton. They're currently on a 6-series win streak. OG, 10-series win streak. The last person or the last team to beat Alliance was OG. The last team to beat OG was Empire, but that was when Empire were really hitting their stride.
Yeah.
But both of these teams are very hot, and I think Alliance have definitely proved recently that drafting has become one of their better traits, because they've suddenly become very dynamic in their drafts. They're not afraid to try that one kind of interesting hero. We're seeing Alliance definitely open up Loader's kind of play style as well. He's changing things up, not just playing Gyro and things all the time, bringing out the Spectre from time to time as well.
Now, the one thing Alliance have been doing a lot of, Admiral Bulldog Broodmother. And that's exactly what we're going to be starting off here in game number 1 alongside the Tusk. OG respond pure aggression, Gyrocopter, and Undying in the response to the Tusk. This is like full out, I'm coming at you starting at, in the laning phase with the Undying, starting about 15 minutes, Gyrocopter's going to hit you, and we're just never going to stop. This is fight, fight, fight. I can't imagine a lineup that follows this that isn't fast-paced and completely oriented towards early and mid-game team fights.
Yeah, one of the problems is they banned out Dazzle themselves, Alliance did. So sort of sustained team fight support that you can look at are Winter Wyvern, maybe the Witch Doctor, to try and mitigate some of this aggression coming out and try and stop that aggressive tower diving potential that OG definitely have. But then you leave yourself at a little bit of a sort of lack of firepower, because Winter Wyvern, his laning phase is pretty good, but there's that kind of lull when he hits level 3. He's got his 2 points in Splinter Blast, maybe he goes for the 1-1-1 build, but then you're just kind of waiting around and stalling until your ultimate. You don't have that big teamfight ulti, and you very rarely give heroes like Winter Wyvern that space to get it.
Right.
So it's going to be a difficult second phase for Alliance, I feel, to try and bolster this. They've got 2 very strong heroes early on, Broodmother great in the lane, and we've seen teams deal with Broodmother in the past in multiple ways. I think people have kind of given up on we'll pick one hero, we'll put him down against the Broodmother in a lane. Darkseer's still out there that can do it decently, but nowadays it's mainly about rotating supports in. You love the Spirit Breaker charging in. Winter Wyvern's still a good hero against that, so OG could look towards it themselves, but they love their stuns. I go with the Winter.
Winter Wyvern.
That's not only a great pick for themselves, but also a good block pick against Alliance, I feel. Because it's something that Alliance would be looking for.
trying to look at this alliance. What kind of supports that are best left? Because I'm presuming they still want to leave their carry a little bit open. I don't know. What do you pick into all this team fight? Like, you have to match some of it with team fight of your own, like some sort of stalling hero at the very least. Like, I wouldn't even mind something like a Keeper Light, something that's very spam heavy. You know, I don't think that's a hero, but and then a lot of split push. You got to go with the Broodmother, but you've got to get another core that's very mobile to push out the other half of the map. Because otherwise, OG are just going to force you into defending your tier 2 towers with nothing to trade for. Those are going to be bad situations because they have such superior teamfight heroes.
Oh, wow.
And it's only because the funny thing is, it's not like Alliance have bad teamfight necessarily. Tusk and Jakiro are perfectly fine now. I like the Jakiro pickup, but it's just the fact that the Broodmother can't fight early and OG have such exemplary team fight heroes that it's hard to see how Alliance is going to be able to stop that, but we'll see. I do like the Jakiro. That actually kind of fits kind of a spamming hero.
Yeah.
I think it also gives you a significant amount of team fight because of how tanky he is.
And then when you look at Winter Wyvern, that Cold Embrace can set up nicely for Ice Path and Ice Shards and things like that, so Wyvern has to be careful with who he's healing up with that spell, or she even. But for Alliance, even though they're very early on in the pick phase, I'm kind of looking at something maybe along the lines of a Clinkz for their sort of 5th pick. It's definitely something you keep in the back of your head. Clinkz very good against Gyro and Undying. Even though there is a Cold Embrace on the enemy team, you still want something that can pump out that raw physical damage. It has the mobility with the Skeleton Walk to jump himself around in team fights, and just be that sort of elusive damage dealer. But I'm not sure if you want something a little more stable for Loda. Because with a Tusk, you've got that initiation power, you kind of want someone who rolls in with them and actually does the damage too. Clinkz always sort of skirts on the outside of the team fight. And with S4, usually playing those very mobile, sort of, magic damage-based mid-heroes. Queen of Pain banned out in the 2nd phase. Oh, wow, okay. OG still going for the Darks here. So there's the hero that still deals with Broodmother, but adds even more power to your team fight.
Yeah, so they could potentially go and aggro tri-lane, put Darkseer up against the Broodmother, Gyrocopter, Undying, Winter Wyvern. Hell, even just Gyrocopter Undying is a pretty powerful dual lane. And then they could even rotate the Winter Wyvern into mid, and maybe even help out the Darkseer at one point in time, but Alliance...
10 seconds remaining.
This does put a lot more pressure on your mid as well. If OG have that opportunity to put the Winter Wyvern mid, even for just the first minute or two, and harassing with that, I always forget it, Arctic Burn. That takes, like, certain heroes, like, for example, Templar Assassin, would be immediately threatened by something like a Winter Wyvern pickup. And all the harassment that you're able to provide in the first round. Good call on the Clinkz, though.
I kind of felt it would come as the 5th pick, but maybe the worried OG see it as well and would ban it in the 3rd phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the hero you kind of look for, that just physical burst. But now with Tusk Jakiro, I'm kind of feeling the Brewmaster for S4, something along those lines. A lot of his heroes have been banned out by OG. Well, 2 of them, Lena and the Queen of Pain. But you need someone who can roll in, cause havoc in a team fight, and just take people out. He's cycling up the Undying before he gets Tombstone down, take Gyro out of the mix for a little while. And then with the Clinkz, you can kind of focus people down. But OG, take out the Leshrac. Okay. So we've seen a lot of Brew plus Tusk mixes. Kuroki's played at support with a Tusk roaming around with that.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen No-Tail play Brewmaster quite a few times from the 1 spot as well.
Yeah, I would like that, actually, quite a bit. A tanky hero, team fight accessible. I think that would actually be the perfect hero to round up their lineup. There isn't even that much control that is threatening for a Brewmaster. It's literally just Winter's Curse. Like, they have this amazing AoE combination with the Winter's Curse on the vacuum on top, but when it comes to just one ability holding in the Brewmaster, if they don't get something that actually has a long duration stun or silence out of their mid, then I think you're completely right. Brewmaster would be insanely good.
Just watch OG pick Brewmaster now to block pick it and put No-Tail
It's
Brew
just
mid.
more team fights. Yeah.
Honestly. That would be so annoying for Alliance, losing out the Winter Wyvern, not taking out the Darkseer from OG, and then having the Brew stolen from you as well.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, what else do we have left for S4? See, he does have quite a diverse hero pool. You know, people know him for his Puck, his Queen of Pain, but he plays a ton of heroes.
Reserve time.
You know, as far as Batrider keeps popping into my head,
true.
but I know I don't think that's the hero simply because while picking off one hero would be nice, I guess if they don't have, again, if they lack disabled, then the Batrider could be good.
10 seconds.
Because at the very least, when you jump in, you're going to force the Winter's Curse on yourself if you do get caught by that. So,
5 seconds remaining.
but if they don't throw that, oh wow, the Invoker!
Alliance's turn to pick.
Okay.
All right, there's some more team fight. The Quaswix Invoker, most likely.
I think that's the third or fourth time we've seen Miracle pick up Invoker as well. Played it Dream League, he played it Defense last week. I'm pretty sure he's played it a couple of other times as well, but...
It'd be a really good hunting hero for heroes like the Broodmother and Clinks if later on into the game you're able to get the Quaswix, you go the Orchid build, and you go hunting around via Ghost Walk, and you have a gem.
And also, if you do have that pressure push from Alliance with Liquid Fire, the Searing Arrows, and Tusk kind of lurking as well, just throw out the EMP Tornado.
Reserve time.
Stop that push coming in. And it's also a deterrent against... Like, I'm saying Brewmaster a lot, I really do like the pick, but, you know, you don't want to pick Brew into a Quaswex Invoker for exactly the same reasons, so they go back for the bat. A lot more mobility.
Yeah. All right. Look, I really think it was just a strong opening from OG. And then the follow-up, the fact that they got the Winter Wyvern Darkseer combo, it really puts me on OG side of things, that I really feel like they're going to be able to win via this draft, that it actually fits their playstyle very well. They're very aggressive in that regard. I think they'll be able to take advantage of this. And Alliance's draft is a lot more finicky. You have to poke in and find the right openings at the right times. It's essentially like OG, in my mind, default has the win. And Alliance have to actually work their way and actually, you know, hit the right openings, find their right timing, split push at the right times without getting caught in order to dismantle this lineup from OG. And if they can play it correctly enough, then you could see this game, you know, draw out. Next thing you know, you've got things out of control. The Broodmother's always keeping OG from being able to push in, and then Alliance could take it. But for me, I really feel like OG have won the draft.
It feels quite heavily reliant on Bulldog's Brood as well. Because with the Clinks out there, it's always been one of these heroes that, you know, we saw Fear do it at ESL Frankfurt, 7-minute roaming Clinks and move on to other lanes. But it's similar to what Storm used to do, where the threat of the Clinks when he's off the map is sometimes greater than him actually running into you and finding damage and forcing you away. If you were grouping up as OG after shutting down the Broodmother, you know, not really being worried too much about that, then the Clinks is not going to be able to find those, you know, solo pickoffs, hide in the jungle. He's going to be crowded out by a bunch of OG heroes. But if Broodmother gets a good start, and OG have to try and deal with the Brood in the later stages, sort of 15, 20 minutes in, you've got to try and stop that Brood pushing into like tier 3s and racks. That's when the Clinks really does start to run rampant.
What do you think laning-wise? What's going to be the most optimal for Alliance? Because I'm looking at this, OG, it feels to me pretty obvious that they want to be able to match the Darkseer against the Broodmother, most likely, because that's such a favorable matchup. One of the few heroes that can beat that Brood in a 1v1, and they've got a really good aggro lane. How does Alliance juke that around? Do they do some sort of dual lanes?
I think so. We always used to see Clinks against Darkseer. You know, Funnick was famous for it. The Clinks kind of 1v1 Darkseer after level 3. So I think Tusk Clinks initially as that duo up at top, something like that. And they have maybe a Broodmother Jakiro lane, and they just spam Liquid Fire, or we're seeing a lot more Dual Breath level 1, actually, out onto the Undying and Winter Wyvern, because he can trade hits so efficiently with his high armor, pretty high armor.
So play the Jakiro kind of like you would see Lich almost play when it comes to the Broodmother lane, just trying to create a little bit space for the Broodmother in those first couple levels that are usually pretty rough for a Brood, and
then roam mid. Roam mid onto Miracle.
Yeah, well, you know, we'll see if that Jakiro actually is able to have successful roaming pressure, because that's the big downside of the Jakiro, right? Not a very good ganking hero. As the Ice Bath, which is usually not prioritized first, is your best ganking ability, and it's just not that great. Long range, but not very long duration. So we'll see how things end up here as we're finally getting into our game between OG and Alliance. We're going to start off with Admiral Bulldog heading to the bottom lane. OG, sure enough, are going their aggro lane. Winter Wyvern, Undying, and the Gyrocopter should be heading up to top, and then you've got Miracle's Invoker mid, obviously.
What's that Invoker cake?
Yeah, I was looking at that too. What?
God of the Sinister Lightning. Well, there's some easy gold for Miracle.
Yeah.
What
For a
does that
second there,
give
I thought I
himself?
made a face, but yeah, it's just pretty cool.
So if Miracle gets Bounty Rune as well here, he's going to have a great start.
Miracle looks like an
30
OG,
seconds to battle.
rocking that cape. All he needs is a staff.
I thought you were going to say something like a gold chain.
Chalice. That's what real OGs would be rocking. Looks like Alliance are going to be battling it out for the rune. Obviously, OG, pretty standard that Dire side don't try and contest the top rune because it's so dangerous against these cliff areas. It's just like you start setting up for the rune, all of a sudden the whole entire enemy team could just swarm down the cliff area. So Lotus actually going to go for the steal, and he got it. Oh, Miracle's going to be hurt by that one as S4 got the bottom bounty rune. So a great start for Alliance, already ahead in the game.
Sneaky devil, Loader.
And that's really impressive that he was able to pull that off without...
without attacking and revealing.
Yeah. I wonder how he did that. Did he just right-click and stop him at the same time until
It
he
pops
picked up the bounty rune? Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Sometimes you want to show yourself so that you create another target there
Yeah.
that they can click on, but
Mhm.
he goes for the sneakier play. So is that a bottle? That's S4 full bottle rush, actually. Pull Tango's one branch and straight into it. That's pretty quick. So aggro trialing from OG, Gyro, Undying, and Winter Wyvern.
Yeah, how do you even contest this?
So Alliance actually do have to move up all three heroes there, and OG get the matchup they want down in bottom lane. Darkseer against Brood.
Clinks is already left to 400 HP after 1 decay. Like, how do you actually fight this? If Alliance managed to pull back the lane, and then something that's very important for the Dire side is that they not only got themselves a pretty good laning award, but they also blocked out their own hard camp to make sure there was no pulling opportunities for OG. Because of that, the lane is going to push forward, but if OG ever managed to make it bounce off back off the tower and pull it back, I'm not sure how Alliance ever move forward and contest.
Denied!
How's that middle lane going? 6 and 4 so far on the Bat Rider, an early start thanks to all that sticky napalm spam, and of course Miracle. When you go this Quas build and you go for the early level of Cold Snap, you just do not have very much damage.
I had to go for the magic stick as well. Magic wand even over the null talisman, so
Right.
even less damage, just to try and deal with a napalm spam. But at least once he gets to that point in Wex, he's got the Ghost Walk, so killing potential for S4 is going to be limited.
Now, fortunately, at the bottom lane, we do have this matchup, but the Darkseer will do well as he's matched up against the Broodmother. That's not terribly surprising. But what is good about this is that the Broodmother's Dire side, you're able to take advantage of the Radiant Jungle. So as you get to like level 5, have the Soul Ring, and you see a lot of Spiderlings coming to the table, he's not going to keep them in lane. He's going to throw them into the jungle. So Broodmother will still be able to get a lot of farm. They're playing pretty passive here in that top lane. That's because the Tusk is heading into middle. See if he can gank up Miracle. They're actually going to go for the kill now. The Snowball comes in, but they don't have the vision to reveal. Miracle may still die, though. He's underneath the flame break. Almost ends up going down there. As dangerously, he was standing on top of that fire.
17 stick charges and a salve as well, though, so he'll be back into the line straight away. And S4 running out of bottle charges. The rotation from Tusk, sure, it pressures Miracle, but it doesn't break the lane or give S4 a massive advantage at all.
No, certainly not. Miracle's going to be looking good now as S4 is unlikely to be able to continue any kind of aggression. You can see Miracle's actually the one now pushing back against S4. Gets cold snap out. Miracle is going to be stacking up a lot of that napalm, but S4 is probably not going to be feeling confident going forward and actually using that 5 stacks.
Dire's
Meanwhile, Broodmother starts cutting out the lane, as Broodmothers are wont to do as soon as you get that Soul Ring.
Now it's just trading farm, really. Moon can't pressure the Broodmother into a situation where she dies or loses Spiderlings, and like you said, jungle, when she hits that sort of level 5, level 6 point, it all becomes hers. It's kind of fun, though, watching up at top lane where the lane is actually meeting. Radiant Creep Wave goes to tier 1, Dark Creep Wave is getting dragged constantly.
Oh god, S4 managed to pick up the first blood against Miracle. Does go down in the process as Miracle actually does pick up the kill thanks to his cold snap and play. But the first blood going to S4, especially since he was in that kind of awkward position where he had the bottle down, and Miracle was actually able to take a little control. That is a pretty favorable trade-off, I would say, for S4.
Okay, and fly at the top rune spot. Jakira gets there first, though. And Nuts with the bottle actually going to refill it as well. Oh, that's S4's bottle.
Winter Wyvern.
Where are you going?
I'm not sure what's happening here. They're going to snowball into the Winter Wyvern, of course. There's the Arctic Burn to be able to get away.
S4's chasing this.
Yeah, he's going for it. Tornado's going to stall him up a little bit more, but there is still the Flame Break to be thrown out. Bounces back to Winter Wyvern. If you could just get a right-click in, this Winter Wyvern will definitely be going down. And good pickup by Alliance.
And now you look at S4 with 2 kills, being able to spend his gold before his death as well. All they need is a few jungle stacks here. You know, we don't see Batrider go into the jungle and just get that huge burst of 1,500 whatever gold to get into the blink. It's usually a couple of stacks, go in, go back to lane, then back again for another couple of stacks. And you finish it by sort of, 10, 11 minutes from the mid. We've seen faster blink dags from S4 when he's completely crushed his lane and gone like 4-0 though. But he'll, thanks to my nuts and his illusions, be able to take down a couple of camps here.
Soul Ring. Now, about to be complete for Loda. He'll purchase it from the side shop. So now all he needs is level 6, and he can actually lead this lane and go just full-time jungle. He'll probably have a safer time there.
So with this Gyrocopter up at the top, he's going to get a slower level 6 than we kind of expect from Gyros. He's now been left alone to try and get into that point, but Loda, he's looking pretty good for this lane. Almost matching the Gyro in farm. The Clinks hits this point where he's going to have Soul Ring, Treads, and his Death Pact as well to get that extra bit of HP and damage output. Oh.
Nuts is actually going to snowball to dodge a lot of that damage out from the EMP, but there's still going to be the Cold Snap as well as the Arctic Burn, keeping him in place, and Nuts will go down. So the 3-man rotation there into the jungle, putting that ward to scout out the Clinks.
They want to kill
They're looking for stacks, but... Oh, Darkseer kind of getting surrounded, does get a couple of breathing kills, but now S4 shows himself, is able to get that lasso right as the Surge goes out. Still, though, Moon is able to get enough distance thanks to it being a level 2 Surge. Will be able to stay away from S4. Meanwhile, top lane, looks like Loda was just challenging the Gyro a little bit. Has his level 6 coming in quite soon. Moon, perhaps getting a little over-aggressive, may not realize it, as Nuts is going to show himself. Does get the Ice Shards off. They get a bit more damage. Brood only just now getting the Soul Ring, but even that nuke wouldn't have been enough to get the Darkseer kill.
And Moon holding onto himself can just return straight back into lane as well. But yeah, the Clinks is now hitting this point where he can out-DPS the Gyrocopter. Definitely put a lot of pressure onto the Undying. Like, no tails.
Oh no, Batrider ends up going down. Miracle with the phase boots ends up picking up the kill. Looks like Nuts was going to try and rotate in. I was expecting a fight at top lane, but no such luck.
Denied.
But without a stun up here, without an opener from OG, they can't really pressure into the Clinks and find a kill. They need that level 6 from Gyro and a Dust, but neither of them are things they have. I think Loda's just pretty content to farm up here.
They've got the Dust, too, on the Tusk. So if the Tusk had perhaps rotated in a little bit sooner, maybe the kill could have gone the other way around.
Onto the Invoker.
Yeah, but Miracle's in a great position now. 3,200 net worth. Top lane, they're going to try and go on Loda here, but seems like they know exactly what was about to happen. Loda backs up right as that ultimate is thrown out.
That's the thing, without an opening, without a stun or a slow or something, you're not catching that Clinks.
Yeah. Moon's still top of the net worth board because he hasn't died yet, despite the rotation of S4 earlier. 3,500 gold, thanks in part to the free farm that he's getting with the Broodmother constantly cutting the creep wave. But also, we've seen a large number of Spiderlings have gone his way as well. So you can see, pretty much reflected in the CS, 70 CS by 8.5 minutes. Not really possible without Broodlings. And you're going to see what Moon does here now. He's going to throw the... oh, he doesn't actually. Usually the Ion Shell is thrown onto one of the Spiderlings, so it's hard for the Broodmother to disengage. And has to find the right Spiderling to throw out. And usually you get a couple of... at least a couple of kills.
Oh, they're hunting S4.
They really are, but S4's kind of spotted them out. Loda's going to make his way over, but there's nothing really to be had here. Feels like Alliance are just falling behind rapidly, and now they're going to be caught. S4 is going to be hit by the Gyrocopter ultimate not once, but twice, and will be going down because of that. They're going to turn on to Ake now, slowed down by the Arctic Burn. No Tail willing to make that commitment here. Juke into the trees. Ake trying to hide himself, does get out some damage with the take. Finish them off now. Fly. Oh, bounce back, but it looks like Loda will go for the kill, and they've got enough damage too. The turnaround, No Tail underneath that tower, but oh Jesus, he's got to actually kill himself. Oh, Loda gets himself alive, just barely getting into the trees, but no Tail gets the right click out, and now OG looking at Nuts. Nuts is scared though. Ice Shards goes out, but he's got no extra help. Big downside of running this Broodmother. Don't have that rotating hero.
Devastating for Alliance. S4 just wanted to farm calmly in the jungle to get towards his blink. But Loda coming back in, uses Invis kind of late to run in, 1,000 range or something, then it's still on cooldown after he kills the Undying. Leaving him so open.
Right.
For the Gyro just to walk into him. Looking back to the Invoker, though, it's not going to be the Orchid Rush. We saw this from him the other day. It's the very, very old-school Wex build on Invoker. The drums into Yules. He just goes for max move speed.
Yeah, he just... I thought, maybe there was a chance with this game that he would go for the Orchid build, but he seems very set on the phase drums. And I guess if it's working out for you, why change it? Loda?
Does he know Loda's here?
Maybe caught. Maybe he's looking at rotating to the bottom lane. But it is very likely that Loda is going to be... Oh, the vacuum back in. Doesn't quite hit him with the tornado, but they are keeping sight of him with the Ion Shell account ward laid out. They're going to be able to get Admiral Bulldog, and Loda can't get the return kill onto Miracles. He's just too tanky with all that quas.
And then TP away. Oh, with Brood going down. He's still... Tier 1 standing down here, Doc's it. Should be able to deny this. That's, again, a big loss to Alliance.
Loda just kind of revealed himself. He walked through the wall just ever so barely and spawned an illusion. Darkseer, especially with this pause, will realize that Loda's behind him.
And he's got mech completed.
Yeah.
11-minute mech. He's got Mango.
You think that's enough to escape from this situation? Snowball, Ice Shards. You've got the Medallion on Loda. He doesn't have Surge, and actually Death Pack's about to wear out, so I think Moon actually survives here, but we'll see. They're holding off on their damage for now. They do have the Jakiro coming in from the side. Moon gets off the vacuum, but he's stuck, and is Surge away, but no, that's not going to happen.
It was going to be close. It's one of those situations where you have to make the perfect decisions to actually run south into the trees and try and TP out without using too much mana. But the fact is, mana pool was sitting about 280. He didn't.
Whoa, Fly! He's going to be pulled up, but with the mass rotations, there's nothing S4 can do about this. If he had a little bit more sticky napalm. In fact, now it's going to be caught. It looks like the EMP should be enough to finish off S4. And just in case, they had the Gyrocopter ultimate on top of it as well. 9-4. OG, they're just hunting down S4 left, right, and center.
Where did Miracle come from? He suddenly appears at top rune spot like, hey, S4, what's up? Yeah, the fact that they've taken tier 1 top, now looking for the tier 1 mid. The Gyrocopter is sitting at level 8, close to level 9, and low to the fact that he's moved away from top. Oh god, the tornado barely missing Loda there.
Yeah, if they had... Oh, never mind. They did have Dust if they really wanted to try and run down Loda, and he doesn't have Death Pact right now, so he's actually exceptionally squishy. S4 is going to come in, but what does the Batrider really offer you without that Blink Dagger in a full-on team fight? OG are just going to stick around this mech. Why not? Take out the tier 4 tower, and they're actually going to play aggressive now. S4 trying to get into the trees. Oh, Winter's Curse. They're going to commit for him. The snowball and everything comes out. They actually are able to save S4 for a second, but the tornado will now finish him off. S4. No, Jesus. They actually just finish him up so easily. Now the rest of the Alliance start backing themselves up. Loda chased away by that Gyrocopter ult. Alliance are just scrambling to get any sort of semblance of control. Admiral Bulldog doesn't even know what to do. Should he try and run into the middle lane? Doesn't seem like a winning scenario, but he can't just let OG run over these tier 2 towers.
This Invoker pick was so great, honestly. Even when the Batrider has Blink Dagger, you jump in, you lasso someone, you get tornadoed. There is no real way for Alliance to actually catch anyone. Is he going to kill Spidling Say with tornado? A couple.
Not quite.
Not all of them.
Yeah.
But it's just so much teamfight control and deterrent for Alliance to go and find pickoffs or targets. He's everywhere. He's running around controlling the map, so Gyro's not going to get touched. 2,000 gold on your Gyrocopter now, 13 minutes in, on top of Treads and Helm.
Yeah, and if you think about it, if OG are they're pushing out the mid lane, they're keeping control of the top lane, they're also invading your jungle constantly, where does the Clinks go? Because usually it's going into the enemy jungle, but a lot of that is being covered by Admiral Bulldog. You combine the fact that this Radiant mid-tier 1 tower is still up, and they still control some of these stacks over here. These two camps are very much still in Radiant control, and then Clinks would be in a really risky position if he wanted to go for that. So all around, I think OG game plan wise have just figured the way of keeping S4 down and shutting out Lotus Farm as much as possible.
You hit the nail on the head at the end of the draft. OG have a very easy to execute lineup here where they basically run at you and throw their spells out. As long as they can cast their spells and don't get picked off and don't have a hero too far forward, too far back for the Clinks or the Brood to actually try and zone out, the lanes went fine for them. Now 11-4, and Alliance, they've got 3 very niche heroes that do specific things. The Bat Rider blinks in, finds a target on his own, maybe tries to split push. Broodmother is, lane dominator into split push. He's taken tier 2 at bot, now into the Radiant jungle. But OG don't care. They really, really don't care about bottom lane.
Alliance just show themselves and immediately OG start backing up. Then they figure, okay, no, we can actually turn around and go for a kill here. Miracle's going to be picked up, but there's already the Tombstone laid out. Vacuum also catching S4, trying to pull him back in. The Cold Snap is doing a lot of damage, but S4 will be able to get out. Meanwhile, they're going on no tail. Admiral Bulldog trying to commit, but that's just too much damage. He just gets blown up by the Rocket Barrage and the ultimate. Now Nuts is going to try and escape, but it looks like no tail, with the help of the Surge, is going to catch up. Nice block out there with the shards. That'll keep Nuts alive, but still, they lost Admiral Bulldog, and again, we'll be losing more and more control to OG. Looks like this tier 2 is going to fall.
I kind of find it interesting that No Tail's rushing a BKB, though. What do you think the reasoning behind this is?
Dire's middle tower is
And I guess,
I guess
Snowball's annoying, but
it might be one of those things where you feel like you're so far ahead.
It's a game-ending item.
Yeah, you just don't want to be dying, essentially, right? You can't afford to be giving up the net worth advantage that you have. So at this point in time, with the amount of gold and experience he's ahead, one death could actually mean a lot for Alliance. So if you just secure that death isn't really possible with Magic Immunity, I mean, you look at Alliances, their damage is very minimal if you're able to take out the Clinks. Well, Tornado comes in. They're going to catch Ake. The Snowball is going to be able to help Ake a little bit, but it looks like Nuts isn't going to make it out either. He's slowed down so tremendously by those zombies. And yet another pickup for OG.
See, if OG all group up as 5, Alliance can't find those individual targets to pick. They rely entirely on trying to outfarm and outlevel OG at this point. So they need Bulldog to just completely ramp up in the enemy jungle, push hard into the bot lane, and then Loader to actually be on the same lane as the Broodmother, like he is right now, looking for that one target that comes to defend. Right, do they?
Oh, they actually caught Miracle.
Oh, wow.
Nice pickup. That's going to be way behind enemy lines. Meanwhile, the rest of OG will actually push down this tier 2 tower. If anything, they probably need Admiral Bulldog to immediately go bottom lane just to keep the pressure. Or maybe they're going to fight here. OG only just now taking the tier 2 as their damage is a bit lacking. But Alliance, they had the opportunity to come in from behind and fight OG, but that was probably going to be a bad idea through and through. So they just take advantage of the space that they're granted with the Invoker dead, farm up some of the enemy jungle. S4. Good thing he's able to fly over cliffs. If he tried to go through the staircase area, that would have been quite the disaster for him.
Now, this is where OG have to be a little more wary of what they're doing. Top lane is a good target in S4, but bottom lane is still tier 1 and tier 2 standing for them to take. It's also the place where Bulldog has been just sitting and split pushing. So at this point, I think you do have to switch from running at Alliance, because you've taken down all the out towers in the other lanes, right?
Yeah.
Now you want to start looking at Roshan in the next 3 or 4 minutes. They're going to peek in there, see if Alliance is actually taking it themselves, but bottom lane, it's a key component of taking that Rosh pit. Get the tier 1 at the very least, but OG's still sticking towards mid. They just don't want to get picked off by the Clinks. I think that's the thing. Bat plus Clinks, they're very good at finding those individual targets to just jump and kill.
But in the meantime, they're creating potential openings for Alliance to win this game. That tier 3 tower is already down to half HP. They're going to go for the catch out here. The Eye Shard's blocking out. Oh, Winter's Curse laid down to S4, and the Cold Embrace will actually save the Darkseer. They'll turn on to the Winter Wyvern now. Looks like they should have enough damage, but never mind. The vacuum pull back in. The wall, they're going to be able to finish this fight quite easily. Maybe not even lose a single hero. They lose the Darkseer towards the end, but it's going to be one pickup on the Tusk and a second one on Ake as he's trying to back himself out, but run down by Miracle quite easily. And looks like everyone else from Alliance was able to get out, but that was just not the fight they envisioned, especially since they picked off the Darkseer almost immediately to begin with. I mean, they grabbed him so separated from the rest of his team, but the Winter Wyvern able to save things pretty heavily there with the Winter's Curse as well as the Cold Embrace.
There we go. That's indicative of what they want to do next. Gem on the Wyvern. It's time to kill Brood a couple of times because he's got these pickoffs at the very ends of fights. He's sitting on 3,600 gold just waiting there in the bank. The S4 just get himself away.
Yeah. A little bit closer. He would have had the Yule Scepter. He's actually going to go for Clinks next. Loda is going to start backing out. Looks like he should escape unless Miracle just throws out the right dust. He actually caught Loda, but Loda's sitting on the side here. Oh, he's hit by the tornado. Miracle lands that one. He only needs a couple of shots with the Cold Snap leading. Loda's probably going to be die here. Bounce back. S4 clearing through that one tree. Loda's actually being bottled up. He's going to be able to stay alive. And Miracle is now just got to get the hell out of here because 2 versus 1, he cannot win this fight. Fortunately, with his mass movement speed, he should be okay with the TP out. Get back to safety.
If S4's blink came off cooldown, I don't know, a second and a half earlier, they chase that and they potentially find the kill. But still, Admiral Bulldog hiding away in his webs. Now a little bit scared of going into the enemy jungle. Did Winter Wyvern give that gem to Darkseer or who? Who has it?
I presume you give it a Miracle now.
Oh yeah, Miracle has it, you're right. Time to hunt
mass
with the Ghost
movement
Walk.
speed, invisible hero, just running around finding the Broodmother, finding the Clinks. And they'll see some of Admiral Bulldog here. It's not Spiderlings. I think they caught a glimpse of the hero itself backing out over the river. The rest of OG are going to take the tier 1, though.
Yeah, it's time to take bottom lane. This does give breathing room to Alliance, though. You look at where S4 and Loda are. They're actually farming up decently over in the jungle and top. So Loda's Desolator is going to... I say Desolator, it could still be a BKB for him with the magic damage output from OG being pretty high. But Deso is just going to give you that chance to win a team fight and demolish your hero in there. And a second Mithril Hammer, yeah. I think you just focus down the Gyrocopter, someone like that in a team fight, and try and get that one pick. But they'll get tier 1. Up at top.
Dire's bottom tower.
And I wonder, do OG actually go back to defend this? Or do they just go cruising through to tier 2? They're splitting.
Well, if you give up the tier 1 here, that's going to be the Desolator for the Clinks, but does that really change that much for you? You still have clearly superior team fight. The worry is going to be, oh, nice vacuum.
Radiant's top tower.
Ake's not going to be caught by that, but still. Anyway, the Desolator I don't think is going to provide you that much in team fight damage just because it's so easy for the Clinks to be blown up or the Cold Embrace to counter his single target focus.
Yeah, they rely on like the S4 Blink, Lasso, 4-staff back, and then Loda's sitting there to take down that one target.
But I think the big danger of the Desolator is actually going to be the split pushing power. The Clinks is able to challenge you for certain trades, even if you are 3 or 4 heroes together. The Clinks could still output more building damage because of that Desolator, but I don't think OG particularly cared. They're getting to a point where the trade-off, if Clinks goes for a split push, they just ignore him and take a tier 3.
Oh, Bulldog's cutting waves, so they can't take tier 2.
Oh, good call. I didn't even notice that.
Being a cheeky little devil he is.
And Alliance will now smoke up in an attempt to, what they're presuming is that Loda is probably going to be ganked, right? If OG, they can't do anything here. They're constantly being cut, so they have to back out to the Broodmother or go gank the Clinks as he's splitting. S4 actually managed to catch one, gets the push over, and will be able to pop fly immediately. Now the jump back in. S4 playing a game of chicken with the rest of OG, daring them to continue to move forward. Admiral Bulldog trying to get back the trees.
They see him
hasn't taken any damage, so he can sit in the trees for now. Oh, Tornado misses. Miracle
reveals
a little bit. Moon doesn't have the vacuum just yet. And Emerald Bulldog, oh, he gets spotted. The cold snap, now he can't get away. The BKB goes off, and now Loda comes in for the side. Miracle almost dies straight up to that one. Will be able to get away with the Glimmer Cape. Meanwhile, Emerald Bulldog keeps himself alive thanks to that BKB and the lifesteal, but Loda's going to be caught now as the rest of OG surrounding him. Four-step out, he's going to be able to get out because of that one. Brilliant play from S4, and now he is going to try and jump himself into the trees. Got a blink out. And where's that missile going? They've got to finish it up. Oh, Loda. God, tornado! Miracle catches him, and Loda's going to die because of that. Miracle's just going to keep going with the help of No Tail. They're going to chase down Ake as well. Admiral Bulldog, the next hero on their sights, farther down, though. Looks like the Tusk just barely managed to TP out. Admiral Bulldog's going to be caught eventually here. The Yules takes him, surround him, and we'll be able to pick up a third kill on that team fight. Alliance got greedy there. I think they felt like they had to take more than just that one hero pick-off on the Undying. And had to try and force a fight. And it was close, too, the way the Miracle was dropping there when Clink started going onto him. It looked all right. Oh, caught. S4 tried to sneak up the side. Is now cold snapped, held in by the Ion Shell. Nuts goes in and attempts to help save S4, but now he's going to be caught as well. And Alliance... Desperation is definitely the word to describe their movements right now.
Because they were looking at that Invoker and thinking, right, we've got the BKB on the Broodmother. We can actually outlast the Winter's Curse. He's not going to die. Then we turn the fight around with the Clink's Deso shredding him. But the Glimmer Cape from Moon was something they just weren't expecting. The Glimmer onto Miracle meant that even without Ghost Walk, he was able to run himself back, then re-engage really, really well.
Right.
But Alliance... I don't know, it was that point where they felt they had the critical items they needed to win a team fight. It was just they were a little bit out of position. Like, imagine the Tusk and the Jakiro were 2 seconds earlier to that. They could potentially roll over OG and bring the game back into their own hands.
Mm-hmm.
I'm betwixt myself.
Is this our Darkseer now going for a full-out Solar Crest? They don't have the greatest uphill potential in the world. I guess it's a little bit... Normally I look at Gyrocopter as like, okay, he's not a very good uphill hero, but it's actually a bit better if the Invoker gives him Alacrity. Just because that big boost in physical damage will mean less time on the cliff.
And who's going Solar Crest?
Yeah, Solar Crest on the... Well, I thought Darkseer. I saw a medallion pop up, but... Am I crazy? Did he sell it?
I didn't see it. He must have sold it.
Because they actually don't have a medallion on their team.
No.
So it would make sense because they still have enough control to be able to take Roshan. It's a little bit difficult with, obviously, the Broodmother constantly controlling the pit.
I don't think we're going to see Moon Meander's Bloodstone Desolator Darkseer this game. Unfortunately. That was pretty fun. The Desoseer.
Deso to wrap things up.
I just think Blink is such a good value item in Darkseer, regardless of what stage of the game you're in. Having the ability to jump in, get that big vacuum curse. Because now you've got a Glimmer Cape on the Wyvern as well, and oh god, Monkey King Bar's done for No Tail. With a DD rune. I think if they have a smoke, they've got smoke on a dying, it's time to just go and run at them. DD, MKB, Vacuum, Wall, all the abilities they could possibly need to go and take this team fight now. And Bulldog is waiting in the Roche pit, scouting out, and could actually pop the smoke.
You know, it's really surprising. I mean, Loda is so scared constantly. Well, hold on. This smoke, fly, it's popped. Admiral Bulldog, he's spotted out by the ward there for a second. Unable to actually catch him just yet. Miracle's going to try and get to him in time, but gets over the cliff, skitters to safety into the trees. And OG, they're not going to try and go on a hunting expedition. Looks like they're just going to try and push out the lane. They can't take Roshan, though. I mean, it's just too dangerous of a place to fight against Alliance. Finally, Loda got that tier 1 tower, but it took him a while, and that's what I was going to say. Loda's playing this, like, so conservatively when he goes for these tower split pushes, because he never knows if Miracle, when he's off map, is actually just goes walking into him and has the gem and easily controls.
Yeah, who's around the corner? Speaking of... Into the Wyvern TP's up the top, and this is when Alliance engage.
He catches Miracle. They do have both the vacuum to help control him, and it looks like he was able to just stay ahead of the ice path. An awkward engagement there for Alliance as they weren't able to really get the control that they wanted. Snowball goes in. He's actually committing for Miracle, but his Cyclone actually saves his life. Now the extra bit of damage, but Miracle's still able to get out as it looks like the magic damage. Emerald Bulldog, one last right click. They finally get him, but boy, do they commit heavily.
So
4 different heroes for Miracle. I wouldn't be surprised if he's sitting there going, question mark?
Moon has found S4.
Oh no, forced out to the side. He's got
no
Firefly
TP.
coming up.
Moon just chases this. The rest of his team's coming in. There's no TP for S4, and they know
Blink, he's got to blink up in a second. Oh, actually
they
goes
saw
back
it.
the other direction. But they know. He's going to try and stay ahead of this Winter Wyvern who's got Winter's Curse. Blink Dagger, Force Staff coming up. Blink Dagger in 2 more seconds, but Moon's on top of him. Now it'll never happen. That's going to be the gem down. That's 5 heroes for Miracle. I don't care how much MMR you have. That is never going to be worth the trade.
Soul Rip, Stick Charges, Cross, everything to keep himself up and running, as well as the rest of his team helping out as well. And nothing really gained from Alliance apart from that 1 kill. Tragic stuff. Alliance, they just keep committing. Like in that situation, maybe, again, like you said, they try and poke and prod, find that opening, and try and retreat, because they've got pretty good heroes at playing these hit and run tactics, just get in, get out. But OG getting the better of them every single time.
Yeah, to be honest, at 25 minutes, having a 7,500 gold lead for OG, considering how well they were controlling this game, I was actually, a bit surprised and thinking, okay, Alliance aren't actually as far behind as I thought they were. But now, after that kind of team fight, obviously the lead's going to extend over 10k quite dramatically. And just individual net worth, you can see the Gyrocopter is almost double the net worth of the Clinks.
Miracle is so done with being initiated on as well. He's buying a Lincoln Sphere. Screw you, Batrider. I've had enough of your stuff.
I mean, the Batrider really doesn't have a better target than at that point. You try and go for the Gyrocopter.
Darkseer, I think, is probably the one you look for.
Yeah.
But even then, he's got Greaves. A plate mail is now done. So it's still going to be difficult to kill him off with the Clinks.
They might still be able to kill the Gyrocopter if they get him pre-BKB.
Yeah.
Because he only has 1,200 HP.
Ice Path, Macropire, just throw the whole kit and caboodle at him. Alliance are in no position to contest this Roche pit. Like, the only way they get in there is Bulldog goes for the steal, but Miracle joins the party, and they've got double gem, right? Fly has 1, and I'm pretty sure that Crit had the other. Maybe put it back in, he's put it back in the fountain. Alliance grouping up all at top. Aggressive ward down, looking for any TPs coming in to rotate onto Loader. But OG, do you defend this tier 2? It's free money. It looks like they will send back the Wyvern to try and stop this, but here's the jump.
Yeah, S4 managed to catch him. They're just going to blow up the Winter Wyvern, and are they going to continue for the tier 2? We know they should, just because the rest of OG are still hanging around the bottom lane. And it looks like Alliance will continue to push that out. See if they can get the tier 2 before being forced back by OG's No-Tail as he goes high ground. Miracle looking for Admiral Bulldog here. Tombstone laid out preemptively just to try and slow down Alliance if they want to challenge.
I like Return Gyro. And what's the high ground defense plan here? They've used Lasso up at top. It's on cooldown for 40 seconds. There's no jump catch.
He's already on half HP. The lifesteal, he's trying to battle it out with No-Tail, but he's got that MKB. Lifesteal's keeping him alive, though. The Desolator's going to work, and it looks like Loda will be able to help get that kill, but it's just the Aegis, and Admiral Bulldog still dies in the end. Miracle gets caught by the Ice Path. They're controlling No-Tail still. Round 2, can Loda actually dish out enough damage to take out No-Tail? Doesn't look like it. Too many heals. He's already back up to full HP.
And
Loda keeps on going with that minus armor ticking away at him. But No-Tail just decides that it's fight's over. They took the tier 3. No need to try and force this one out even further.
And Lasso's back up. I don't want to get caught by that one. They get the tier 3, get a couple of kills as well. Bulldog dying once again, and with the battle build on Brood, the Orchid into BKB, you need to be making more of an impact in these fights. But the trouble is, he's not able to build up like a big army of Spiderlings. He can't get the Spiderlings to run into a hero like the Wyvern because there's Glimmer Capes, there's gems. OG just have perfect vision over everything that Alliance are trying to pull over them. So the way back into this, I think, is just going to be that sneaky smoke to try and find a hero in the back lines of OG. Wrap around, but it has to happen when OG push high ground. So otherwise, you're just going to be bashing your heads against a brick wall. Oh man. Satanic and Crimson Guard.
Admiral Bulldog's got to get out of here, and he's got to go fast. Almost caught by the vacuum. Miracle. Sonic Boom goes out. Cold Snap, and they just throw out the Winter's Curse. Still, though, there's a Force Staff from S4. That actually keeps Admiral Bulldog alive. Still, though, OG. I guess with the Winter's Curse, they're not going to push uphill.
Okay, Loader, here's your chance. You need to buy a TP, though.
Yeah, I'm presuming he sells the Bastion.
Yeah.
In the side shop.
No reason not
Smoke
to.
up. S4. Yeah, it actually blinks right onto Miracle. Force Staff gets over the cliff. We'll be okay from here.
That's fine. Firefly should come off cooldown before OG get up to high ground again. Bulldog's done a great job again down in bottom lane, just shoving that out.
Yeah, they're actually getting themselves a decent amount of space.
And again, they have to contend with Loader. Like, Loader's become a secondary broodmother. You need someone to deal with that bloody hero. I thought for a second maybe Moon Meander was the one.
Tornado. Just fishing for Admiral Bulldog and cleaning up some of those spiderlings at the same time. If they could actually just get a Talisman of Evasion on No-Tail at this point, it would mean a pretty large increase into his survivability, seeing as the only hero he really has to worry about is the Broodmother and the Clinks. Like, their physical damage is what threatens him right now. But if he could offset that with the Evasion, and then even further with the Satanic, pretty much they're left with this prospect where they have to, like, one-shot No-Tail, get the control from S4, chain stun him down, or they don't kill him at all.
Yeah, then they're put into a position where 3 of the cores in OG are close to unkillable. You know, they have to throw everything up to, into one of the cores, and they have to contend still with 2 of them left over.
Miracle. Is he going to go in the right direction here? No. He should kind of know with the creeps. But maybe, no, Miracle's got that gem. He sees Loda. Very awkward right now. S4 is going to TP back. Miracle's probably going to make the commitment soon. Especially, yeah, there's the TP. Winter Wyvern's coming in. And Alliance will start backing out. But you know Miracle's going to catch one. Eul Scepter, Ice Wall. Nuts, snowballs, in order to try and get out of it, but of course there's not much you can do about it. Still gonna be caught, Cold Snap, and the kill goes to Darkseer.
Yeah, he just got himself a Lotus Orb as well.
Yeah.
Bounce back lasso, I guess.
Apparently does not bounce back Walrus Punch, which makes sense. No-Tail, they know he's pretty much all alone in this bottom lane. They're gonna try and slow him down. Of course, he's got the TP out. But S4's still going to catch him with the lasso. Looks like No-Tail's going to be dying here. The homing missile actually hits Admiral Bulldog, slowing him down. But with 3 different heroes surrounding No-Tail, they actually take him out, Satanic or not.
Godlike streak
That
stolen.
is a huge kill. 1,000 gold going to the Clinks just by itself.
Yeah, look what Jaro bought out. He got a Quarterstaff. That's a component of Butterfly, but not the one you really Massive kill for them. Do you think Lotus Orb bounces back Walrus Punch when it's manually cast? Like, it makes sense that it doesn't when it's auto-cast. For some reason, I've got it in my head that I've seen it before.
I would say that it's because it's not a missile of any kind.
Well, it bounces back Hex and Yules, though.
Yeah, but... But it wouldn't bounce back, like, Poison Sting, right? If you still manually queued up Poison Sting from Viper, it wouldn't bounce that back, right? Because it's an attack modifier, in a way. Like, if you look at Warcraft 3, Walrus Punch would be like an attack modifier, essentially, right?
I'm gonna Google it.
All right. Is Miracle, what's he going here?
What's he picked up?
He's got a point booster. Is it Ags
Aghanims.
or is it, Octarine?
Aghanims is super valuable. Especially at this point when you've got full Wex and you need more points in the Exort. You want that sort of Deafening Meteor Blast, Meteor and Deafening Blast combo to start kicking in really soon, because you want the damage. You've had the control, you've had the mana burn and things like that. Now you want the damage output from Miracle to really start pumping out.
And you get a little bit closer to that, that 360 no-scope Deafening Blast play. Nuts, I'm sorry, my friends, but you are going to be picked off once again. It just never ends for this guy. Walrus punched a zombie. Oh, S4. He's going to go look, see if Roshan's up, I guess, but Not even potential spawn time is here yet. Not for another 30 seconds.
It's the kick that gets bounced, not Walrus Punch.
Oh,
Maybe that's what
okay.
I'm thinking of.
That's weird. What's Loda doing in farm, by the way? He's got a Crystallis. I mean, that's still really feels like you have to go the MKB.
I would have thought a Hex even.
Mm.
Because they're definitely lacking in that sort of single target lockdown outside of the Batrider. Once that's on cooldown, you definitely have issues. Just keeping tabs on
Winter
someone.
Wyvern thought about going for the Winter's Curse there. But it just would have been a Jakiro kill. That's not worth enough by itself. And Roshan, very early Roshan at that. Spawning almost immediately once his potential respawn time started. So the Ag's about to be finished up. Anyway, the only reason I was thinking about Octarine is because he's got these items, such as Lincoln's, that I thought decreasing the cooldown of that might be potentially worth something.
Yeah, and then the HP you get back from Tornado EMP. Definitely not negligible.
But he's got the Ags now. Just one more CS. It'll be
Is
good.
it done? Wow.
Yeah, he's got all the parts back in the courier.
And then he's got himself, like, double Forge Spirits is pretty good for when you're pushing up high ground, just as that additional spell to have. And obviously he's not gone for the Exalt build, so they're not going to be the super powerful Forge Spirits to push up. But it's still nice to have the double ones.
I'm presuming OG are just going to wait out there. Butterfly, go for Roshan, and then when they've got Aegis, is this Aegis and Cheese, or is this
Just Aegis. Because no one took Roshan for a really long time.
Yeah.
It was just people dancing around the Roche pit. Smoke time again. Fly's got one. They're actually grouping up here, but
Probably don't need to smoke because they want to check Roshan first.
I'm gonna go
And
take
if
it.
Roshan's up, they might as well go for it.
With the alacrity over on No Tail, yeah. Spiderling should scout this one out, though.
It's still a good potential place for S4 to make an initiation. Miracle's probably ready to go with the... Well, no, they actually can throw the Winter's Curse out preemptively onto S4 before he even makes his jump. Now he's going to be caught, pops the BKB, but No Tail's here. Starts right-clicking into S4, but he's going to be able to get himself over the trees to safety. OG swarm right back into the Roshan pit, where it's down to half HP. With the Tombstone and the wall still out, I don't think Alliance are going to go into this one, but we'll see. They didn't blow much in their attempt to stop Roshan being taken.
It's just BKB for S4.
Gonna go for it now. Going down the side. Tornado gets laid out. S4 force-staffs himself to the side. Yule Scepter is gonna buy Miracle. A lot of times it actually dodges quite a bit. Nuts gonna hold him in place with the Walrus Punch. Fly being chased down by Emerald Bulldog. But a good cold embrace actually keeps him alive. Meanwhile, No Tail gets the kill on S4. Nuts is also gonna be going down farther up. Emerald Bulldog chasing on to Miracle. Does get a lucky bash. Keeps on going for more. But Miracle, he's so damn fast. He will be able to get away. Emerald Bulldog has got nowhere to really hide now. Tries to put himself in the trees. Doesn't look like, because Miracle had the gem. They're going to be able to get this kill. Still, we got him on top of the cliff, too. Emerald Bulldog will go down, and it's only Loda left alive, as OG didn't lose anything there. Even Miracle already looking healthy enough with all that mass quas. And they've got an Aegis in their hands now for No Tail.
Again, they dogpile onto Miracle, but he's got Yule Scepter, he's got Quas, he's got the Ghost Walk at the end, even after the lucky bash from Admiral Bulldog, still runs himself away. This guy is very difficult to kill, and we've been wondering for a long, long time. You know, when we saw Miracle playing a lot of anti-mage at during the early stages of Monkey Business, people were focusing a lot on him. Then when he started playing Shadow Fiend mid, people started roaming 3 or 4 heroes to kill him mid. In team fights now for Alliance, it just seems they're putting so much focus onto Miracle's Invoker and thinking, we can kill him, that they're kind of not realizing the strength of the other heroes. If they can catch Winter Wyvern before Curse, if they can get Fly or Moon before they get their spells out, they are equally good targets.
The offensive Force Staff actually takes S4. No, that was actually his own Force Staff, but that was just not the right area to go. Snowball goes on through, on top of the Jakiro ultimate, but that's not going to be enough to burn anybody out. It looks like even Fly's going to be able to stay alive thanks to his heal. OG keep on moving forward. Go from one lane of Rax to the next, as they'll probably head to middle lane. Loda was trying to take a lane of Rax of his own, but Moon's actually going to put a stop to that one. Unless Loda, I mean, he realizes there's no other play but continuing to go for that melee Rax, I think.
Radiant's bottom barracks.
Starts working at it. The backdoor protection still isn't there.
Top lane pushing in, though.
Under attack.
Oh, yeah.
He'll be able to get this.
So,
Moon really tried to deny.
yeah.
Nah.
Middle barracks.
Losing
Load
double
up.
lane, though.
They'll have to back out. I mean,
this triple?
Middle barracks has
with the melee racks down, oh yeah, OG just, they gotta end this game now. Alliance not up for another 10 seconds on their Bat Rider. The TP back, Lotus just gonna be a bit too late. I mean, he doesn't have Death Pact, he doesn't have hardly any mana. He's gonna go for a Maelstrom, just any damage he can at this point in time. Ranged racks, melee racks is all that's left now as Alliance start going on to No Tail, trying to pop him, but Admiral Bulldog doesn't have the damage
God.
necessary. No Tail is
They're
just
all
a
dead.
big OG right in the middle of this O. And there it is. GG, well played. Alliance, no, this has been over probably for a while. Just tried to fight it out anyway. And they did buy it themselves a lot of time, but the thing is that OG were pretty much always in control. And we're just getting bigger and bigger over time.
Yeah, you could definitely see the merits of Alliance's decision-making there, but again, we come back to the draft. It's been the sort of real talking point of OG and a lot of the top-tier teams. Even Alliance, we've seen them do very well in their drafting recently. It's just this one they felt backed into a corner. You know, they were like, oh, we need something for S4 mid. His heroes have been banned out. Go for the Bat Rider. Go for a comfort pick. The Clinks I thought was decent, but everything that OG had, the final pick Invoker, just dealt with Alliance so well. And once they grouped up as 5, pushing into top, into mid, not caring about Bulldog's Broodmother too much, who did they send back to deal with the Brood pushing into tier 3? A Winter Wyvern. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
a support hero goes to deal with the Broodmother. You've got the rest of them just battling it out and forcing S4 and Loader to fight instead of farm.
Well, we both felt like Alliance were a little bit losers in the draft there, so maybe we'll see something different going into game number 2. We'll have a short break, and we'll be back.